Guys, heads up. AITA is doing a live show in Queens in New York City, February 25th at 7:30 p.m. So we are like halfway to sold out, and I would hate for a true blue AITA fan to miss this show. So I am begging you, jump on bit.ly/AITA, capital Q, capital E, capital D. You know you can find the link in the description as well. Cannot wait to see you there, folks. It's going to be a blast and a half. Buy tickets today. Much love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. What is wrong with me? Mwah, 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 mwah. Emoji of the nerd with glasses they all keep making fun of me for. Well, make fun of me on February 25th at 7:30 p.m., folks, in Queens. Love you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega, joined today by my lovely, lovable co-host, the inimitable, ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Levine. Sarah, how are you today?
Wow. I had to look up that word.
Incapable of being imitated, I assumed. I've never looked it up. That's just
kind of what I figured
that's the vibe
as well.
that I'm getting. I mean,
Love it.
Could anyone imitate you? I can. I talk to you enough, and I've got nothing.
I'm sure you could.
I'm sure you could. I was about to say, I went on a...
I was like, thanks. I'm borderline the old lady now, so...
No, that's right
fine.
here. You're more like, I went on a date and I hated it. But see, that's old Sarah, so I sort of lost the core thesis of you. I don't really know what it is.
Who am I anymore?
It's sort of like,
Wow.
there's a bird outside my window and it's giving me anxiety. Okay, how does the bird affect you? I don't understand. I don't know. He could work for someone. I don't know.
Who do you work for? Whose little birdie are you?
That's a funny thing we've never really talked about is like, I mean, it's only happened like twice really, where you've been like, I need you to edit the podcast right now. If this goes out, we could be attacked. Like some paranoid thing you had. And I was like, okay.
I mean, you think it's paranoid, but like... Who's to say?
It's not really fair because I edit the pod, so I take shit out all the time on my behalf. So it's actually I've probably taken out hundreds of things that I've said because I've been like, oh, that could play weird.
That actually does make me feel better,
Mm-hmm.
like that you're not just letting it fly. And definitely there are so many times, especially when we get feedback, that they'll be like, oh, this thing you guys said on December 16th, 2018, this is a fake date. I don't even know if I was doing the podcast back then.
Right.
I'm like, damn, did I say that? Like, sure, I believe you. But then like sometimes I'll immediately say something and then just be like, that is not at all the point I wanted to express. And that needs to go right away.
Totally. I mean, I will say this. We did get a letter about Anthony and I had way back when said we didn't tip the Uber, and I want you to know I think you should tip the Uber. I tip the Uber now. I think I usually tip 10 or 15%. I'm not really sure how it works in the Uber.
Gotta tip the Ubs.
Does the Uber app use a percentage? Why does that not ring with me? I don't know.
They just nowadays, I feel like they give you like a certain dollar amount that you can tip.
Yeah, so
Like $135 if it's a smaller ride. I don't know what they do if it's bigger because I can't afford that shit anymore because it's like $60. So.
Yeah, actually, I'll say this is really... So I usually do the middle option. I'm a little cheap about the Uber. I'm going to be honest. I'll be honest, and if you want to ding me and you want to write a submish, go for it. That's fair. But I am a great tipper. Otherwise, I'm always tipping a couple bucks on the coffee. I always tipping my bartenders, couple bucks. Like
facts. Yeah, I don't think I necessarily would tip if I were to just get like a coffee.
Really?
I don't know if I would think to. I mean, if I was paying with a credit card, yeah.
Yeah,
I just don't know that I would think to.
I usually tip big. I'll say this though. This is really interesting. I think this is a sign of the times if I ever heard it, folks. And I know a lot of people are concerned about servers and stuff because of COVID, and I think that's huge. But this is just really interesting to me. So I like to go to this little place called Kava something. I don't really know what it's called, but they have Kava and Kratom, and these are these sort of weird things that people who don't drink alcohol partake in. It's kind of a fine
Got it.
point that I
was like, what is that? Okay.
They're basically like very slightly inebriating drugs. I've tried to. I think I kind of muck it up because I'll say I'm sober, but it's not really true. I would really say I just don't drink. I truly don't drink.
You're like LA sober?
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Well, the thing is, I have very minuscule amounts of actual pot because it makes me so paranoid. So I smoke CBD or I'll take I've kind of taken like 2.5 milligrams or even less of an edible. And I like that my little microdose. Anyway, I'm the most boring person. We all know this, but I go to my little Cava Kratom Mart. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but, and at some point I came to learn that the baristas over there, they don't actually get the tips on credit card. And so
who does?
The business gets the tips. And
then they tip everybody out?
No, they just keep the tips.
What?
Yeah.
Boo. No.
Yeah, and I was like,
is that legal?
I know. I was like, that's messed up. That's messed up. So anyway, I had a new barista the other day, and me and my friend brought it up, and they're like, no, it's actually agreed upon by everyone because, the business couldn't really survive unless they took those tips because that's how like things are shitty right now with COVID. And so it's actually agreed upon and it's fine with everybody because they get to keep their jobs. And so it just kind of works out and it's an arrangement. And so I don't know, there's small businesses out there too. It's like, you shouldn't always frame things in terms of, like, oh, landlords are all rich or whatever. I mean, they might be leasing it, but you get it. It's just like, there, like a lot of people are struggling. And so it was cool to like, oh, like there's nuance to this because it sounded monstrous, but it really wasn't.
That's good to know.
Yeah. I went to Vegas this weekend. That's my big news point. Stayed at the Luxor, which is a giant pyramid.
It looked so cool. I'm so jealous.
I got to admit, I think it's a great deal because it's not like the nicest hotel or anything. I mean, it's fine. It's
cool to me.
More than fine. Yeah. But it wasn't like crazy expensive or anything. It was pretty affordable. And I just thought it was an incredible building. I was like, holy shit, dude, we're in a pyramid. Like this is fucked up.
Love that.
And
this is how the Egyptians felt.
Yeah, no. And that was our excuse too. Cause they didn't have bottled water, which really made me mad. Like no water in the room. And I was like, cool.
They didn't have it?
No, we went to the front desk. I was like, you guys have any water? And they're like, no. And my friend was making fun of me.
Is there a reason for that?
I know, right? Well, so my friend and I were joking. We were like, well, it's historical, they don't have bottled water.
Yeah. The hotel, sorry, now I'm not over this. The hotel just doesn't stock bottled water.
I know. I thought it was so weird. It was kind of a normal thing.
That's super weird.
That
even if they wanted to price gouge you like $8 a bottle like they would, damn.
Just straight up no water. Then my friend was making fun of me for drinking out of the sink. I was like, okay, well, I'm thirsty.
What are you supposed to do? Dehydrate?
Yeah, exactly. I guess they just...
This is a weird Twilight Zone that I feel like we're in.
It was something wild, Sarah. I mean, I was on the subway. I was on the elevator. It's actually not an elevator because it's a pyramid. It's called an inclinator because it's actually not going up and down.
I saw that. I was like, I don't know what that means. It goes sideways. I'm like, I don't believe that.
Yeah, well...
There's the top of a pyramid.
It ascends the pyramid, so it has to go a weird direction. It can't actually go up and down. There's no up and down to go because it's not in the center of the building. It's on the side.
Oh, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like a hollow.
That's fucking cool.
It was pretty cool. So you got to visualize this, guys. It's like a hollow pyramid. So like you looking out from your room, you're like looking in on the center of a pyramid. It's really weird. It looks wrong. If you look at it, looks like you're kind of in a boat. It's really weird.
That's so cool.
Anyway, it's Vegas though, and everyone is super talkative, and like you could just, obviously the most standard joke, like, oh, did you win any money? No one did. No one. I asked 3 people this. No, they'd laugh. No. But anyway, get into the elevator after a Starbucks debacle of epic proportions. I mean, the Starbucks lines were just insane. I've never seen anything like this. It was like 30-minute wait. It was like crazy.
No.
But anyway, I finally got my Starbucks and I get in the elevator and there's a girl with 2 friends, and they're all like pretty like done up. Like, I don't even know if they're coming off the night before or what, holding a shot glass in the elevator. And I was like, it is 9 a.m. guys.
Could go either way, truthfully.
It was pretty epic. I was like, wow, I don't know.
I love that.
I don't know how far you've gone. So it was pretty awesome. Ate at the big buffet, had 38. I tallied it up. I had 38 different courses. And the cool thing about the giant buffet, this is at Caesar's Palace, but I like to call it Little Caesar's because it feels a little more honest. Like, you know, it's not really like Caesar wasn't really there. Vegas has no history. Vegas has been a city for approximately 14 hours in the scope of human history. But Little Caesar has this huge buffet, and and here's the thing that was cool about this experience is that the misses were as fun as the hits. You know, it was like, let me tell you, Little Caesars, not good with Mexican food, really had no grasp of what the Mexicans were up to. The guacamole was totally whack. I was like, how did you mess that up? It's
gross.
Literally avocado, and it just tasted weird and wrong.
I hate when it like tastes like it came out of a squeeze bag. You just know.
Super squeezy baggy, not good.
Ew, no, that's the worst.
But yeah, Vegas, wow, that's a wild town. And I have to say, it really made me miss New York because it is super walkable to walk on the Strip, and I forget what they call that, Fremont or whatever. It's pretty cool. It was cool. I only lose $200. That's my Vegas policy. I lost it almost instantly. But actually, this is weird, Sarah. We play roulette, and I've actually never played roulette like with a dealer. Usually I play on some dumb machine. And this MF was putting like $1 on like 30 different things, just like putting dollars all over, betting on every single number. And then it's really confusing. You can bet on 4 numbers at once if you want. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really insane. So you can place like 4 bets with just $1. It's absolute madness. So it's super chaotic, and the dealers are super like overwhelmed. And my friend,
but if you place 4 bets for like $1, let's say on 4 numbers, are you winning any money, or you're just losing less money?
I wish I knew how it works. All I knew is this guy would put down so many dollars all over, and in the end, the dealer would take a while and then give him lots of dollars back. I have no idea if he was making money, if he was breaking even. It was just...
Maybe he's just money laundering.
Seriously, it was absolute chaos. But this is crazy. I'd never seen this in my entire life. My buddy and I had put $20 on black and $10 each. I know. High rollers.
Woo.
And this guy, he took our tokens. He took our chips. And I didn't see him take the chips, but we were like, yeah.
He stole them?
Yeah, we were like, yeah, we put $20 on black and now they're gone. And the guy was like, oh, I did that. And we're like, what? And then I was like, all right, this table is
He was
cursed.
like, yeah, I just stole them? Like, that's what he said?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I took them. And we were like, okay. So he didn't steal them, but he was just, I guess, really drunk. But I was like, okay, sure.
So did he give them back?
He gave them back, but then I was like, clearly this table is bad luck.
Yeah, that's not good vibes.
Really bad vibes.
What's the dealer doing?
I know. It was too chaotic. And then I could tell they were overwhelmed and stressed out. And I was like, why are you stressed out? We're the ones losing money. This is insane.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Drunk people are weird. Yeah. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and the dealers were sober. So.
Right. Yeah, that's fucking weird, but I feel like you made the right call.
Yeah. Then we went to a different table and lost money there. So there you go, folks.
No. Got the full experience. I'm really not a gambler. I do want to go to Vegas. I haven't been.
Oh, you
but
gotta go.
I don't like to lose my money. Like, I like to keep it.
Oh, we got to do AITA live from Las Vegas. That'll be a game changer.
Oh, that would
folks.
be the pinnacle of AITA. That would be insane. But I have been to Atlantic City twice, which is like a shittier, grosser, all around worse Vegas. So
I really want to go. I hear it's kind of delightfly terrible from some people. Some people like it.
It's so crazy because the first time I went, it was like 3 or 4 years ago. I had a great time, and I was like, I don't see what's the problem about this place. And then I went again for a day over the summer, and I went to the boardwalk, and I was like, oh, I get it. And I stayed at the same hotel as before, and I was like, yeah, it was like the decor is pretty dated. The carpeting on the floor in the casino is whack. Like, it's the same carpet that they would use for those coach buses when we were in middle school. That weird like 90s disco pattern. I'm like, this is fucking whack. And just so much of it, I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of, there's something about it. But I still had a good time. But I was like, I get it now. I get what people say about this place. I'm going back though, so I mean, no regrets, but
there we go.
Just I get it.
3 Atlantic City trips is equivalent to 1 Vegas trip. I say you're getting there.
Thank you.
I will say this though.
Right.
Atlantic City, famed, of course, for a failed Trump hotel. And
Oh, yeah.
there is a 5-star Trump hotel in Vegas. And I wanted to stay there because it was cheap. But I knew I couldn't do it because one of our patrons, Dearica, who's a gem and a half, I was like, there's no way I wouldn't talk about it on the pod. And I'm pretty sure she will actually kill me. So...
that's fair. You don't want to give them your money.
Well, the thing, I was looking it up because I was like, you know how bad of a businessman old DT is, and apparently
So bad.
the hotels are just like huge loss leaders for him, so that's how he doesn't pay his taxes. He's like, oh, nobody stayed at the hotel.
I see.
But no, I didn't do it. I actually didn't even see it, so it's probably, maybe it's a little bit off the strip or something. It's some kind of shady situation.
Yeah.
Donald Trump
Well,
jokes, guys. I'm still making them.
Not your best impression. Stick with the grandma, I think.
Oh, that was supposed to be like a dumb guy. I'm not going to do it.
Oh. Okay, never
Donald
mind.
Trump joke would be like, okay, Danny, please. Okay, please stay in the hotel, please.
That's improved.
That's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Cancel me for how low quality it is. Guys, please rate, review, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Join us on Patreon. I think we have 90 plus bonus episodes. We've got the WhatsApp. We've got the call-in show if you want to do a little bit of call-in and get your own opinions on a situation. Hang out with me and Sarah in the happy hours bi-weekly. It's a lot of fun, and we'd love for you to support us, and we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little bit of Guess the Verdict. I'm excited. I've got some...
Wait, we got the new patrons.
Oh,
We got
yes.
Bryony, Brianna, Laura, Ariel, and Sharon.
Thank you so much for joining us, gang. Welcome to the Horde. Also, a little quick review here. I've been listening to the pod on Spotify for a few weeks. Love it. Not caught up. Therefore, I am currently still on the pods back from when Danny's looking for apartments to move to LA. I found one.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Remember that time where I was like, did we ever talk about this on the pod? I was like, Danny was, I think, FaceTiming his friend who was looking at an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear this dog barking in the background. And I say to Danny, like, make sure you ask what the deal is with that dog. Like, whose is it? Does it live in the building?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to deal with that. And Danny goes, what dog? And I'm like, I don't know. I heard a barking. He talks to his friend who was there. The friend goes, I didn't hear a dog. And I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Right.
I'm losing my mind. And then you went to like sign the lease or look at it in person and you were like, you're right. Turns out there was a dog.
Yeah, I never looked at it, but I then followed up with my friend. We had another call about it and he was like, no, there actually was a dog. So the dog was sort of this bizarre ethereal entity, but it was there and it was crazy. You heard it just from the FaceTime and my friend had almost forgotten about it. And thank God I did not move to that apartment.
Good times. Danny's not in the dog apartment.
Yes, I'm in a very quiet apartment. Love it. I'm probably the loudest person here. So this OP goes on. I'm not in need of new eps quite yet, but I'll join the Patreon when I'm caught up. I love listening to the pod when I'm in the car. My partner listens to it with me when we're in the car. We often listen to a situation and pause it to discuss our thoughts before hearing yours. It's a great way to understand each other on a deeper level. Love the pod. 5 stars. Wow.
Yay.
I don't know why
Thank you.
that's hitting me. Thanks, OP. I really appreciate that.
Yay.
Hope that we can bring some depth to your life and some shitty characters and, okay, where's the grandma? Okay. I'm here. This is it. There's only really 2 characters that he does.
Oh my God.
The pod needs
That's
more
true.
characters. More characters, Danny.
No, you have that guy. You have your like Boston bro. You have a few.
Oh, yeah. I love Vegas, cuz. Let's go to Vegas.
There we go. There he is.
Time for some Guess the Verdict, people. AITA for telling my partner he needs to step up his egg game.
Egg?
That's right, Sarah. Egg. Egg as in EGG. Origin. Breakfast.
Well, thank you. This feels really low stakes drama here.
Mm-hmm.
Step up his egg game. I don't know. I'm going to go with a rogue, no assholes here.
Wow, that is a wildly rogue NAH, and it is, in fact, wrong. Wrong.
God.
You're wrong.
So rude.
OP describes boyfriend as dealing with chronic stress and as physically unwell.
Oh.
Now, OP seems to have a problem with mornings. I don't really understand. They said that, and then they...
Who doesn't?
Yeah, okay, I guess that's just what they meant. But then they said, I love a morning breakfast made with love by someone else. So
Oh, don't we all?
that's true. And
a break.
OP's boyfriend apparently doesn't really cook. And like she said, he has chronic stress and is physically unwell, makes her a breakfast. And then OP, quote, and so I tried to tell him with a joke, you've really got to step up your egg game. He didn't get it and got more upset, asking what's wrong with them. I said, everything. The taste, the texture, the presentation. It's just really hard to eat it and feel like you're...
Oh my God, you're going to talk about your presentation of breakfast? Get the fuck out of here.
Of eggs, no less?
Gordon Ramsay.
What did you want to happen?
Yeah.
It's just...
What did you want us to drizzle the hollandaise? Like, get the fuck out.
OP goes on, it's just really hard to eat it and feel like you really wanted to make something tasty. I think you should look up some YouTube videos for ideas. And then, I don't know if...
Dude, I'm dumping her.
OP was
like,
trying
oh
to
my
be
God.
cheeky. Seriously, they said they feel like they're walking on eggshells. Top comment.
Oh my God, we need a new sticker.
Right? Green Seraphima writes, so even though your husband is super stressed out, doesn't seem to enjoy cooking, and isn't good at it, you still insisted he make you a Sunday breakfast with love and then criticize him when it wasn't good enough. And then you have the nerve to cry like you're the victim here. You're a huge asshole, OP.
Yeah, this is straight up horrible.
I think it's a big...
Fucking horrible.
I've had a lot of tension in relationships about this. Like, look, I don't want to gender it up, but I will want to say go easy on us ladies, okay? For us guys out there who aren't good cooks, but also go easy on us guys for those ladies out there who aren't that good at cooks. There's something vulnerable about making people food. Like, I personally, you know, I'm creative. I put out lots of creative content. I can stand some constructive criticism. I mean, that's not really true. It does drive me insane, but I guess I know it's so important because it's part of who I am. But like when someone's mean about my food, I'm like, okay, but I like it. Like I eat it like this. So like, can you not? Like, I don't know, especially if you want them to do it more for you. Like, I think positivity is probably going to be the key there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, like, don't make someone do something for you and then criticize the way they did it. Like,
yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Would I be the asshole if I didn't let my kids go see their dad on the weekends until he does something about his nasty girlfriend?
Oh boy. So we got an OP who's slinging an adjective in the title, which already that's going to put us on YTA or ESH. Nasty is also a very dangerous word. In fact, I hate to do another impression of Big Orange, but that is a word that he used, and we really don't like when nasty gets thrown at women. But then again, you're a terrorist and you are always up to no good. So no, I think I'm gonna play it as it lays, and I'm gonna throw a no. My gut says ESH. I'm going ESH.
Another rogue comment, and the thing is, you were onto something because I think the word nasty is where this situation hinges, because the girlfriend is literally nasty. Like, we're talking unhygienic.
Ugh.
Twice the kids have had lice. She saw cockroaches the last time she was there. So that was OP's stipulation for not wanting them to go over there anymore. It was really not a comment on the woman's personality, but rather her hygiene habits, which I think is somehow worse. So the top comment was, NTA, kids deserve a clean and healthy environment. Is their dad living with a girlfriend or just spending time there? If they're living together, I suggest he get some elbow grease going and thoroughly clean and fumigate the house. If they're just visiting, then dad needs to have the visit at his place.
So wait, there was just a couple roaches? That's it?
And they kept getting lice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's something else I did.
They got lice twice.
Oh, wow. Twice lice. That's too much.
Yeah. Oh my God. Lice is literally the worst.
I've never had lice.
Ugh, I went to summer camp, so I had it. Honestly, having lice isn't even so bad. It's the fact that you have to comb it out of your hair for like weeks after you like put the chemicals in your hair.
Are there just...
It's harrowing, honestly, to comb out like bugs and their eggs from your scalp. It's harrowing. Like, let me tell you.
That is terrifying. Wow.
It's awful. I do not wish it on anyone.
Shouts out to all the lice victims out there. That sounds really hard.
Lice survivor.
Seriously, that's gross. I don't want any bugs
awful.
near
It's
me. Wait, can you
disgusting.
actually see the little lice? Are they visible?
Yeah.
Writhing and shit?
Yeah, when you comb them out, you can see them.
Can you drown them? Like if you just dip your head in water long enough, or do they go hard?
No, I don't think water. You'd have you can do mayonnaise, I've heard.
Mayonnaise?
But you can't just like take a shower and they're out.
Mayonnaise? That's weird. That reminds me of when I was like, hey, Sarah, you've got to try this great aioli I like. And you were like, I'm pretty sure this is mayonnaise. And it was.
But it was so good.
It was so good. Why do lice hate it? Nobody knows. It's a great mystery. I'm very excited for this
You're
one.
right.
AITA for jokingly making a sexist comment to my GF.
I mean, I feel like these people have a certain dynamic. Or does he just think it's a joke? And she, I don't know. There's two ways to go, whereas like they both make these like tongue-in-cheek, obviously over-the-top comments to each other, and that's how it goes, and he struck a nerve. Even still, I think I would stay like YTA just because it's like, I don't know, you got to know when to back off. So, I don't know. I guess I'm just going to say YTA.
I knew sexist would throw you. I knew it. I knew it. That's wrong, Sarah.
How am I the terrorist? You have an evil laugh.
I know. I'm becoming more maniacal as I'm so desperate for this to be my Guess the Verdict year, people. So, Sarah, I do have to give you credit, and you might be able to push me into giving you a quarter point here because, wow, you really read the room here. They seriously do have a very certain dynamic. Yes. They love to make these little jokes. It's like their favorite thing. OP, for instance, will be like,
that's dumb.
Come help me move something. And she'll be like, heavy lifting? That's a man's job. I'll be over here washing dishes. Or she'll be cooking pasta and ask him to come dump the pasta and water into the colander. And he'll say, nah, that requires me to come in the kitchen. That's the women's area. And they think it's so funny in their little jokes. And that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. OP's, here's where things get ugly. OP's GF's sister is over. OP drops a plate, a classic man move, if we've ever been there. I don't know what it is.
It's not true. I start off every meal by dropping something. Piece of silverware, myself on the floor. Like, ask my parents.
Nice.
It's true.
You drop yourself on the floor? That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I used to fall off the chair all the time, like as a kid.
So
for no reason.
GF says, OP drops plate. GF says, this is why we don't invite you men into the kitchen. GF sis doubles down. You dumb men need to stay in the garage. OP says, well, what? I may be a big dumb man, but at least I've always been able to vote.
Okay.
OP does a check-in, sensing a weird vibe. He says he's sorry, you know, that it was a joke and that they make these kinds of jokes. And the top comment went to Nirvana girl Lisa. No assholes here. You apologize, and that's the most important thing. Knowing your audience is important, though. So I honestly wanted to...
Fair?
What's that?
I said fair, I guess.
Fair enough. I guess I wanted to make the point because here's what I wanted to say about sexist jokes and racist jokes, even when they are, and any-ist jokes, even when they are, quote unquote, just jokes. I wanted to say that I think they're not funny. And I think this is how I've tried to word this. Maybe it's not the best way, but you'll see my point, I hope, which is the opposite of bad is not unbad. It's good, right? So like, when you make sexist jokes, but they're just jokes and you're being sarcastic and you're making fun of people who would make those kinds of jokes, you're making unbad jokes. But those aren't good jokes, right? Like,
what's unbad?
Unbad?
I don't, yeah. What does that mean?
Well, like, imagine you give me a gift and I say, well, it's not good, but it's not bad. It's like unbad.
Okay.
Right? It's like, what I'm trying to say is when you make... like in these people's heads, making a bad joke sarcastically is a good joke, but it's not. It's just yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. So, and
I see what you're saying.
And look, I get it. Look, people are allowed to have, you know, senses of humor that I don't necessarily like. I'm not saying it makes you a bad person, but I'm just saying if you're gonna make shitty jokes. Actually just don't make shitty jokes because they're not really funny either. Because it's like and somebody actually, I think Nirvana girl Lisa said this, like you're still making the jokes that a sexist would make. You just think that they're not sexist because you know something or because
exactly. Like honestly, I'm here for like making a self-deprecating joke at your own expense.
Yes.
I think I will I don't like when people try to gatekeep other people's experiences that way. I think your own lived experience is totally fair game. I think if I want to poke fun of myself and say that I shouldn't have left the kitchen, I think that's different than a man making that joke. Frankly, like, you know.
It is. I guess my point.
So I'm kind of with you.
Is, yeah, it's still kind of hacky, you know?
I mean, it's hacky for sure.
That's why I was like, people always be like, oh, are you offended? And I'm like, well, I'm not offended, really. I guess I understand that you're not actually a bad person, but like, that is the most cliched kind of humor, because those are all the jokes that they were making, and now you're just trying to make those jokes again, but with an ironic twist. And I'm like, you're still pretty much making the same joke, and it's still not funny because it's just tired. But like, not.
I mean, I'm with you that it's hacky.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I'll let people poke fun at their own selves, you know, even if you want to be it hacky.
No, yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, look, I'm a comedian, so that's what I was trying to go on about. This is a little setup for me to go off, but you know, it is legal as far as I'm concerned to be hacky. It is legal.
I gotcha. All right, closing it up. AITA for muting Bob.
You're getting good at finding these really funny ones. Muting Bob. Okay, so I'm guessing this was like a Zoom situation. Bob kept going on about something or other, or maybe his dog could be like one of those where the dog is barking in the background, or we all know those Zoom people who like are typing loudly and it's like, just mute. What are you doing? Why would Bob get mad? Because he had something to say and then he's like, oh, I was muted, and he's a boomer and he's confused by technology. I'm gonna say NTA and Bob is.
Well, listen, Danny, your reading of the situation was totally wrong, but ultimately your verdict was right.
Wow, what a hollow victory.
I mean, basically Bob is just like a total asshole. He's in a STEM class. I guess he's in college. He always talks over women. He talks over minorities. He just fucking sucks. Man. Truly sucks. And he's been warned so many times to stop. He doesn't stop. He's been warned you're going to get muted. He doesn't stop. He gets muted. Now he's complaining to the department head. I mean, classic Bob.
Bob, is he old?
Yeah. It doesn't say that he's old.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah. The top comment was NTA. Sorry, NTA, but I feel like if he wants to make a thing of it and escalate, he'll probably win. And Bob will get 15 minutes of fame on Fox News.
They censored me.
Then they went on to like give advice on how to enforce the policy, but yeah, the comment was NTA.
Yeah, I mean, it's always like an awkward situation when someone is breaking an unspoken social rule, but it sounds like this guy's been repeatedly called out. It's like, we're literally explaining the rule to you, Bob.
Yep, fuck you, Bob.
Oh, freaking Bob. All right, guys, well, let's guess the verdict. I believe I have a rather hollow victory there with my brand. I mean, I had a sense Bob was an asshole, guys. Don't be like Bob. You know what Bob does? Bob does not rate, review, and subscribe. We would really love it if you did that. Preferably a good rating, but look, be honest. I mean, it is what it is. Are we the lowest rated Am I the Asshole Based podcast? Yes. Does it haunt me every single day?
Damn, we are?
Every single day, yes, marginally, but it is. It's something I've noticed.
Ouch.
I hate that I noticed it, but now it's in my head and it'll never leave me. And look, it is what it is.
Oh, great. Look what you've done.
Look what I've done. It's my fault. We've got one heck of an app for you today. Our second story of the day, AITA for calling the parents of the kid I babysit sexist and refusing to work for them anymore. Whoa, buddy.
Another sexist sitch.
Yes. But first, people, AITA for taking away my daughter's college money. Wow, kind of a theme here. A lot of sexism, potentially.
That doesn't sound sexist, but it reminded me of the wedding story we did on the Patreon.
Love it. That's a great wedding. By the way, on the Patreon right now, I have an episode with Jimmy Wisman. Maybe you've heard of him. Small Town Murder, Crime and Sports. Oh, wow. Yeah, we did one hell of a juicy ep that's heavily trigger warning, but nonetheless hyper juicy. You don't want to miss this shit. It's on our Patreon. You could be listening to it right now, or maybe you want to listen to it after the ep, but I'm just telling you, it's there. If you subscribe, we'd love to see you there. AITA for taking away my daughter's college money. I, 38M, got a divorce 5 years ago. I met my new wife, Sarah. Okay, Sarah, we know why you picked this situation. I met my new wife, Sarah, 34F, at the workplace, and getting to know her made me realize how unhappy I was with my own marriage. We quickly became great friends, and there was an attraction, but we kept everything professional. I sat my ex-wife down at the time and told her I wanted a divorce and that I was unhappy, that I believe I have fallen in love with someone else and I just want this over. Wow. Nightmare person.
Brutal.
She, 36F, did not take it well, and it was a rough divorce. After the divorce was finalized, I asked out Sarah, and she said yes. Okay, I actually have to respect that. He did wait till after it was all over. I had 2 daughters with my ex who are now 17F, Abby, and 18F, Grace. Very religious theme names. That's kind of fun. Maybe throw on, Father Bob. They did not take the divorce well at all and openly hate Sarah. Oh, no.
Damn. Hate to see it.
Yeah, I hate to see it. I have custody every 2 weeks, and during the time they go to a therapist, my ex refuses to take them even if I'm paying for it during her time with the kids. My oldest is 18 now. I can't force her to go, but she still comes over when her sister does. Therapy has helped, but not much. I do discipline them with taking away privileges, but that doesn't work either, especially since my ex seems to encourage them to be cruel to Sarah. It was so bad at some parts that Sarah would go on a road trip when I had my kids over. Anyways, I've been saving up for their college for the longest time. Each kid has about 40 grand saved up. This is all in savings. Sarah and I have been trying for a baby for a while now, and she did get pregnant. The baby was a stillborn and it broke our hearts. We turned his ashes into a necklace for Sarah and a ring for me. Our jobs don't allow jewelry since it's a safety hazard with all the machines that can get got in the machine, which is very dangerous. So every day we take them off for work and put them in her jewelry box. Well, we came home from work today and the ring and necklace were destroyed. The ring looked like it was cut in half with a bolt cutter and the necklace was smashed. Abby and Grace were smug about it and started to taunt us. Sarah having a breakdown, and I told them to get out. They didn't think I was serious, so I told them again. They said whatever and that I wasn't going to see them soon anyway since they're going to college. I told them they're not getting a single dime. They left. I informed my ex that they will not get any money for college from me, and she has been blowing up my phone since. My daughters have also been blowing up my phone. Edit. People are mentioning family therapy, and to put it lightly, didn't go well. My ex refused to be in the same room as me. The girls refused to be in therapy with Sarah and me. I thought it would add to the resentment if that was forced, so I deemed it better than the daughters go to their own therapists, and I have had one since the divorce too.
I'm stunned.
I mean, I don't buy this at all,
Really?
So I am to believe that these 2 young ladies are not only hateful for no reason
Well, we know the reason.
I mean, I just don't buy OP's story. So he's all perfect, right? So let me get this straight. He all of a sudden felt he wanted a divorce. He wanted a divorce because he met precious Sarah. And I get that a Sarah can be precious, but this is a little ridiculous. He realized how unhappy he was. He became friends with her, which frankly I can read as emotional cheating. And then he sits the ex-wife down and says, I want a divorce and that I was unhappy. I mean, that is not fair. That's not fair. That's wrong.
No. I mean, this person is it's kind of wild to basically just say, oh, yep, I met somebody out of the blue, so I'm no longer happy. And, oh, I'm shocked that you're not taking it well. Like, what do you mean?
Exactly.
This is why it is semi-plausible to me, because I'm like, well, we know exactly why they would be like this, because their dad blew up their fucking life. They don't really understand why. The mom is also now poisoning the kids against him and the new wife. So, I mean, I get why the kids are like this.
Exactly. And I mean, I think the wife has a right to be pissed, and to put this in a kind of professional setting, like, I think, it's wrong, man. It's wrong to not give people strikes and reasons, like, and you promise to work with someone. You can't just meet someone that excites you more and decide your marriage is over, man. That's fucked up.
Right. And, I mean, I agree too.
Yeah, and you have and your wife has a right to be infuriated. Much like if an employer fires you for no reason, like, that's fucked up. You should get a verbal warning. You should get a written warning. Like, you should get to turn it around. Like, you commit to each other, man. That's being a decent person. And God, in a marriage, it should be far more. You should have far more like conversations and you should really try to work on it.
I mean, I will say that the wife shouldn't be poisoning the kids against him. I mean, I don't like this guy. I think he's a piece of shit. I know it would probably take like superhuman emotional strength to not shit talk him to the kids, but you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard for me to, I mean, I'm with you that in a perfect world, but I mean, God, look at what these 2 built together, right? They raised 2 adults. So they have 18 years just with the kids. You know, they raise these freaking kids. I guess it was 5 years ago. It has been a
They
while.
were 13. Honestly, the thing is, like, I kind of feel like in this situation, you don't even need to shit talk the husband, because I kind of feel like if you've raised your kids to be discerning individuals, they'll figure it out on their own.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Thank you.
Blue hair weirdo writes, ESH, you basically left your wife for someone else and expected your daughters who are 12 and 13 to accept it and like her. It doesn't work like that. You decide to put them in therapy to blend them into your new family and hoping they would come to like Sarah. Again, doesn't work like that. You discipline them by taking away their privileges because they dislike your new wife. This is just having a contrary effect. You say that your ex won't take the girls during her time, even if you paid her. Basically, you're trying to toss them aside and giving them the message that you don't want them there. So because you seem to think that everything revolves around you, YTA. I think we're learning a lot about OP's approach just by his reaction to this horrible thing. And I do think it is horrible. I guess I'm also assuming that, he didn't write the situation like right as they destroyed the necklace with the stillborn dust in it or whatever. The cremated ashes. Sorry.
Dust.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, look, that obviously is incredibly wrong and incredibly cruel, and I don't I can't understand why these girls would do that, besides I think that the mother is truly nightmarishly vindictive and push them into it. But I still would even say, even in that case, yo, these are still your daughters, man, and I would expect an apology, but you should pay for them to go to college. I think OP,
I guess I just feel like withholding it is just another punishment, and that's the only reason that he's doing it. It's not for any other reason. And it's not to benefit them.
Yeah.
It's just to punish them in the same way that he takes away their privileges because, oh, shocker, your teenage daughters don't like the woman you probably had an emotional affair with while you were married to their mom.
Right. And this causes a lot of damage in the whole familial ecosystem. This is very upsetting for their lives. I mean, inconvenient is a very small aspect of it, but it's emotionally damaging. They have to deal with a lot of grief from mom, and that is years and years of grief. I mean, look, I can still honestly say, after being in a 5-year relationship, which is at absolute most a third of this relationship, it still has effects on me. And so it's easy to kind of be like, oh, well, mom is a monster. But what this guy did is really, really messed up. And it's just, it's hard for me to be, I mean, the fact that she would encourage them to do this, which is really the only way I can imagine it going down,
right,
is messed up and too far, because it has been 5 years, and it's at that point you really are just you're not getting over this, and it's damaging to yourself too.
Yeah,
it's hard,
and just to do something so honestly just cruel.
It is cruel.
Is sheesh.
Spooky Armadillo writes, ESH, and yes, I will give that a top 25 usernames. The first two are easy. ESH. Your kids never should have done what they did because it was abhorrent, and mom should never have stuck children in the crossfire of a divorce by feeding them information, lies, whatever about your wife. That's easy and doesn't need much explanation. I'm not really with that, because I feel like what OP did was blatantly wrong, so she had a right to explain that. Now with you, it gets more complicated. You seem to give...
I mean, I guess I don't think that the kids reached this level of vitriol just from mom being well, you see, children, what had happened was calmly one time. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like that's how that goes about.
Yeah. So you feel like mom was charged about it from the get-go, but I don't know. How can you not be charged about this?
I don't know, but this is why I don't have kids. But I mean, yeah, I definitely think that the mom was trash talking the dad. I mean, do I understand it? Yeah. Would I do it? Maybe. Are you supposed to? No.
Yeah, so, yeah. No, I mean,
that's all I can say, It's not like they calmly sat down and mom explained, well, sometimes people meet other, like, she didn't do that, obviously. Like, this is not where this level of like vitriol came from.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Spooky Armadillo goes on. You seem to give zero acknowledgement to the damage you've done to your family. A 12 and 13-year-old were stuck in the middle of this rough divorce in which their dad told their mom he didn't love her anymore, feels for someone else and wanted out. Then you immediately got with Sarah. You then forced them into therapy as if they are the problem and disciplined them and take away privileges because they didn't adapt well to this major, sudden, catastrophic event that changed the trajectory of their world forever. Yeah, I guess I'm with the idea of that. I don't necessarily feel that therapy doesn't necessarily imply that they're the problem, but yes, I think that the idea there being that father, look, I think, isn't it obvious that this guy hasn't really taken responsibility for what he did to this woman?
Oh, yeah, like 100%. He's just like, well, I just met somebody else. Like, I don't know. You're not like shopping for things. Like, you're what, you know?
Exactly.
Like, oh, sorry, the new, like, you liked the new model better. Like, that's okay.
Right. Andrea, aka 88, writes, I was prepared to rip you a new one from that title, especially as a child of divorce and my dad picking his wife over my brother and I, and it felt personal. But after reading through everything, I could not be more wrong. You taking their college fund is far less than I would have done. They not only disrespected you and your wife, but the child you lost, which is gross. NTA. Whoa, some disagreements here.
Interesting. I definitely think them disrespecting the child they lost is completely gross. I don't know about the rest of it. I guess I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm like, does he deserve their respect? Like,
no.
He's treated them poorly.
He's treated them poorly. I mean, this is going to affect their entire lives on every level. It's going to affect how they view men. I mean, what he did, and he has obviously not taken ownership over it. He did what he wanted to do, and you're right. He decided to just re-up and get the new model, and he didn't work on his marriage. He didn't realize that this was going to really mess with his daughter's relationship. He wasn't even able to own it. I mean, one thing to be a piece of shit and then recognize it, but I don't get the vibe from him that he does recognize what he did and that he's owned it and that he's doing the work.
No, I don't think he thinks there's anything wrong. He kind of tries to like distance himself from it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. AITA for taking away my daughter's college money. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to say. I guess I have to say ESH because I'm like, if it has been 5 years and mom is still stoking the fires of hatred, that is no longer healthy. And I don't like, it's less about her attacking dad and more about like, you should not be channeling your children's energy this way and you're creating like hatred inside of them. And it's just been long enough that I think you should be on a slightly different page than all out war.
But how do the kids factor into this?
The kids, I mean, look, the kids are pawns in a game bigger than themselves. And so I don't really
like what they did. You don't even really factor that in.
I don't hold it against them because they were 13. So they were just really becoming adults, right? They were just becoming adults. And the dad's like, oh, I'm done with mom. So yeah, you know, and so what? And so they're in the middle of all this, like they're barely capable of moral agency, you know, like what do they know? They're pawns in their mom's game.
Interesting.
So I hate both the parents. I mean, I truly think the mom is scorned to an unhealthy point. She needs a shit ton of therapy and something to turn it around.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, and then this dad is just, he's an awful person. He's an awful person. And this just was not done in a, the way he did this was, yeah, I mean, you put it perfectly. He's like, oh, I bought a new car. So, you know, it's like, no, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could go ESH too because truly, like, the dad sucks. The mom, we can imagine, sucks. What they did also sucks. Like, just seems pretty clear cut.
Pretty clear cut. Not a lot of people. No one I want to hang out with here. AITA for taking away my daughter's college money. We agree. A big ESH. All right, guys. The Super Bowl is coming soon. So we're going to do a little bit of assholes at the Super Bowl party. That's fun. Sarah wrote, can you tell I don't go places?
I have no places to do assholes at. We've done them all. We've done the pharmacy, the Subway, the grocery store,
the hotel.
We've done them all. I don't go anywhere.
Assholes at the Super Bowl party. The guy who's sticking his whole hand in the bowl of Cheetos. Please grab one
gross.
Cheeto at a time. Do not palm the Cheetos, Bill.
I was going to say deep cut, the guy who eats the whole party sub.
Oh, how dare you. That was supposed to feed all of us. But also,
yes, exactly.
the party host who gets just enough food. What are you doing just enough food? It's a party. We should all be able to eat, like, maybe not as much as we want, but we shouldn't have to be worried about how much sandwich is left, you monster.
That's true. That's true. I mean, the person who was like, shh, I gotta watch the commercials. I'm only here for the commercials. I'm sorry. And I have been that person, but like, commercials are talking time.
The guy who brings his guitar. This is not that kind of party, man. This is not,
no,
we're not here for another show. You are not the halftime show. Please.
Oh my God. What about the person getting super turnt? You're like, bro, you have to go to work tomorrow. We all do. I'm not playing flip cup with you now.
The guy who's like, oh, I don't really like sports ball and keeps trying to talk to you during the game.
Sports ball.
Like, I have no idea what's going on. Please, I am trying to bond here. I am trying.
The person who can't eat anything and won't stop talking about how they can't eat anything there.
There's nothing here for me. Like, I'm sober and there's literally only sink water. Like, what are we doing? There's no seltzer. It's LaCroix. It's 2022. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? The guy who's like, I like to watch tennis. You got anybody here like tennis? I wish we were watching tennis right now. It's me, people. That's what I would say. I like watching tennis.
It is pretty like fast paced, so I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
The girl who's like, what's going on? Can you explain to me? Oh, it's me.
Yeah. All right, guys.
What's a down?
What's that?
I said, what's a down? I'm just kidding. I know what a down is.
You know what a down is. Come on.
I do.
I'm actually the guy who's like, but wait, what happens if it's fourth down and the referee sneezes right as they call hike and a hawk flies between and like trying to come up and everyone's like, I don't know, dude. I'm not a rule expert. I just actually enjoy watching. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'm just asking questions.
That's funny. That's so funny.
Guys, please rate, review, and subscribe. Join us on Patreon. AITA. We're going to wrap up here on this. This is a mutation from, I forget what this is from, but it's from something.
One of those ask somethings.
Yeah.
That was good. Good job, Sarah.
AITA for seeking an annulment over a wedding cake face smash. I got married just before Christmas and I'm hoping to be divorced or annulled by the end of January. Obviously, that wasn't the plan, but I never cared about getting married, so I wasn't opposed to it. So when my boyfriend proposed in 2020, we decided to go for it. We each took on about half the responsibility for organizing the wedding, but I think I was pretty reasonable about compromise when he really wanted something. My only hard and fast rule was that he would not rub cake in my face at the reception. Being a reasonable man who knows me well, he didn't. Instead, he grabbed me by the back of the head and shoved my head down into it. I know it was premeditated because the cake was obviously destroyed and he had a bunch of cupcakes as backup. I left. Next day, I told him we were done. I am standing by that. The thing is that over the holidays, everyone has gotten together to tell me I should give him a second chance, that I am overreacting because of my issues. I'm very claustrophobic after a car accident years ago, and I absolutely panicked at being shoved into a cake and held there. That I love him, even though right now I don't feel that at all. He loves me, and that means not giving up at the first hurdle. I don't want to, but everyone is so united and confident in their assurance I'm making a terrible mistake. AITA for seeking an annulment over a wedding cake face smash.
Let me tell you, one of my favorite threads on Ask Reddit is wedding photographers. Like, did you ever do a wedding where you knew that it was going to end in divorce? And how could you tell? I'm not kidding you. The top answer by multiple people is always the cake smash.
Really?
What the photographers say, that's how you can always tell. It's a telltale sign. If the bride is pissed that her husband did it, like, that couple is going to get divorced. I think it's like a huge sign of respect.
Right.
I think it really kind of like gives you a window into how much that person cares about their partner's boundaries. So with that input in mind, I like 100% understand OP.
Absolutely. I mean, I think a classic thing about boundaries and rules too is don't try to find a loophole. In general, avoid loopholes, I would say. I think, because what is a loophole? A loophole is you are trying to get around the wording of a rule, right? But like follow the spirit.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
very
rule.
like semantic.
Exactly.
But you're not following the spirit of it.
Exactly. Follow the spirit of the rule. I would generally advise you to do, folks.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing something fun. But this is not fun because she asked you not to do this and you did it anyway. And there's no way around that. If you're ever in a...
I feel like there was no loophole here. He just blatantly disregarded what she said.
Well, yeah, she's kind
Right?
of joking, right? My only hard and fast rule was that he would not rub cake in my face, but instead he didn't rub the cake in her face. He rubbed her into the cake.
Oh, that's fucking worse.
Yeah, that was the way he tried to evade the rule. That's his loophole.
That's actually way worse because I feel like if you shove cake into someone's face, like you're not going to get their whole face at once, probably. Some of the makeup will be salvaged, but if you put your whole cake or whole face fucking flat in the cake, like it's over. I'm pissed. I'm so pissed. Wedding makeup is so expensive.
Yeah, I think it's really just about she didn't want this to happen. And she said she didn't want it to happen, and it was obvious, and he did it anyway. And
he actually planned to do it anyway.
Extremely stupid.
Because he had the extra cupcakes made. What a dick.
And I mean, look, I'm very with this. I would never tell OP to get with this guy. I would feel horrible for him, but I would also not feel horrible because, look, if it's coming out this way that this guy doesn't really respect boundaries, he probably doesn't respect them in a million other ways. I guess I'm just shocked that it would go this far.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and not have other things, but like...
Because from his view, it's like she's breaking up with me because I played this prank at the wedding, but it's kind of like my wife left me because I left the dishes by the sink. Like, what else was he doing that she was just kind of brushing off?
Yeah, maybe. I don't even need to go with that. I would say something I'm learning is like, look, if you're with someone and you get in a conflict and it's a small conflict and it doesn't matter, but they don't handle it well, take that seriously because that's how they handle a small conflict that doesn't matter. So how are they going to handle a big conflict that does matter? You're about to get rocked. Should be.
But then who is that an indictment of? Like the OP or the husband?
Well, I know of the husband. This could be played as a small thing. It's like, look, you got the cake on you. You wiped the cake off. It wasn't that big of a deal. He even planned to give you the cupcake, so he wasn't even ruining the cake. But I think OP feels in their heart that this was a boundary violation. I think it was a boundary violation. It was not about preserving the cake, so the cupcakes really didn't matter. And I think OP is being honest when they say, I don't feel that I love him anymore. And it's like, yo, he did something that was such a fundamental violation that even though I could see someone spinning that this wasn't that big of a deal, it was that big of a deal because it's a boundary and you shouldn't have to explain. That's the truth. You shouldn't have to explain. You shouldn't have to justify. You shouldn't have to remind. If you tell someone a boundary and it's a heavy thing and they violate it, you should take that seriously. And it might not mean they're a bad person. It might just mean you're incompatible, but like you should take it really freaking seriously.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you. It also like doesn't seem like I feel like he should be groveling. It just seems like he's kind of, I don't know, wanting his whole family to play interference and kind of just downplay this.
Yeah.
Where it's like you should really be doing everything you can to try to make this right and not kind of downplaying it to OP.
If I was going to defend this guy, I would say do that.
It's not a big deal. It was funny. That's what I would say.
He's really got no grounds to stand though, because I mean, I am such a believer that if you lay down the law for someone, and I've gone off about this with other various characters, and like, look, it's a pretty clear boundary. It's a pretty clear rule. Being semantic about it is nothing. It's nothing. It's just finding a way to disrespect someone, and it was very fundamental disrespect. Just straight up.
I agree. It was also like her one hard and fast rule.
Yeah.
And not only does he blow past it, he like does it in a kind of spectacular, showy way.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm with it.
It's a reasonable rule. It's an easy rule to follow. I got no gripe with OP. And if OP asked my advice, I would say, do what you feel. Do what you feel. I think you're right. AITA for seeking an annulment.
And hey, an annulment is, I feel, way easier than a divorce.
Yep.
So
Bullet dodge. You're gonna get your face smashed into cake in a million different ways, honey. You're just
ooh.
AITA for seeking annulment over wedding cake face smash. I think we agree. NTA and he is.
Yeah.
Folks,
And I want an update.
that is the app. A public shout out to Sarah for tolerating me for a full 80 minutes. She's a saint, people. You know it.
Ah.
All right, guys. We'll see you
Pleasure.
next Monday morning. Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Sorry.